And here we go. Number 9. Coca-Cola. Before it conquered vending machines, fridges, and every Super Bowl ad break, Coca-Cola wasn't even a soft drink. Nope. It was a brain tonic, a medicinal miracle brew cooked up in 1886 by a pharmacist named John Pemberton. Why would a guy invent this? Well, John had 2 problems. 1, he was dealing with serious pain after a Civil War injury, and 2, he had an addiction to painkillers. So what did he do? He mixed coca leaves, yep, the plant that gives us illegal snow, with cola nuts which are packed with caffeine. The result? A drink he called Pemberton's French Wine Coca. And yeah, it gave you a lift. But then, bam, prohibition hit. No more alcohol. So Pemberton had to make a choice. Cancel the drink or reformulate. He ditched the wine and added sugar. And here's where fate really stepped in. One day, his assistant accidentally mixed the syrup with carbonated water. Boom! Suddenly, you had a sweet, fizzy, feel-good drink. And the world was never the same. Sure, the illegal snow eventually got removed. But the buzz? It stayed. Now, Coca-Cola is in over 200 countries, worth $90 billion, and people drink it 1.9 billion times a day. From a Civil War injury, to a happy accident, to a global brand on every shelf. Coca-Cola proves that sometimes the best inventions start with a mistake and end with a pop. Number 8. Beer. Long before cocktail bars and happy hour deals, beer existed. And no, it wasn't brewed by hipsters with beards and thermometers. It was invented by accident, thousands of years ago. We're talking ancient Mesopotamia, around 7000 BCE. Somebody left out a container of wet grains. Maybe wheat, maybe barley. They probably meant to make bread, but instead, they forgot it. And then, nature did its thing. Wild yeast from the air floated in, said yo, and started a full-on fermentation party. The grains bubbled, frothed, and turned into a strange, murky, slightly sour drink. It probably looked sketchy. It probably tasted like someone wrung out old bread. But here's the kicker. It made people feel warm and fuzzy. Suddenly, everyone wanted in. Beer wasn't just a drink, it became currency. It was given as wages, used in ceremonies, offered to gods. Heck, even Egyptian pyramid builders got paid in beer. They called it liquid bread. Nutritious, filling, mildly intoxicating. Everything you need when you're stacking stones all day under the desert sun. Some experts even believe beer is why agriculture started. We didn't settle down just for food. We did it to grow the ingredients for beer. Human civilization may have literally been built on getting buzzed. So yeah, before we had algebra, democracy, or toilet paper, we had beer. Because apparently, the road to enlightenment was paved with hops and barley. Number 7. Potato chips. The year is 1853. The place? A fancy resort restaurant in Saratoga Springs, New York. Enter a wealthy, very picky customer. He orders fried potatoes. They arrive, thick cut, golden, soft on the inside. But no, he's not happy. "These fries are too thick," he snaps. Chef George Crumb in the kitchen is not amused. He remakes the fries. Still not thin enough, still not good enough. On the 3rd complaint, George Crumb has had enough. So he does what any passive-aggressive kitchen legend would do. He grabs a potato and slices it razor thin. Fries them until they're crunchy like glass. Then, just to be petty, he douses them in salt. This wasn't a meal. This was a message. He sends them out expecting the customer to hate them. But the twist? The customer loved them. Couldn't get enough. Word spreads. The Saratoga chip is born. And just like that, Crumb's salty revenge turns into a global snack empire. Today, the potato chip is a $35 billion industry. It's in every gas station, vending machine, and late-night craving. So next time someone criticizes your cooking, don't rage quit. Channel your inner George Crumb, because sometimes a single tantrum becomes your legacy. Number 6. Post-it notes. Sometimes failure sticks. Literally. Back in 1968, Spencer Silver, a scientist at 3M, was trying to invent the next big thing. a super strong adhesive for building planes. But instead of industrial grade glue, he created something weird. It stuck to things, but not permanently. It was reusable, barely tacky, and honestly, pretty disappointing. The kind of glue your teacher would send back with a red pen and a try again. No one knew what to do with it. For years, Spencer tried pitching this low-tack glue to his colleagues, but nobody saw the point. Enter Mr. Art Fry, engineer, choir singer, constantly losing his bookmarks during hymns. One day, he remembered Spencer's oddball glue and had a thought. What if I just stick the bookmark to the page and it comes off clean later? Boom. Post-it notes were born, not from some high-tech brainstorm session, but from church, paper scraps, and one man's frustration with hymnals. 3M gave the idea a test run. They handed out samples in offices, and guess what? People went nuts. Suddenly, sticky squares were everywhere. On desks, monitors, fridges, foreheads. A productivity tool born from a chemical failure. Now, Post-it notes are in over 100 countries, used by CEOs, students, artists, and anyone who's ever needed to remind themselves to buy milk. So yeah, the glue didn't hold planes together, but it did hold the world's to-do lists. Not bad for a flop. Number 5. Popsicles. Sometimes genius comes from labs. Other times, it comes from an 11-year-old who forgot his drink outside. Meet Frank Epperson. It's 1905. He's a kid living in San Francisco, and like any curious kid, he's mixing powdered soda, sugar, and water on the porch. He stirs it up with a wooden stick, and like a true child of chaos, forgets about it. Overnight, the temperature drops, the drink freezes solid, stick and all. The next morning, Frank finds this frozen sweet block and decides to give it a lick, and it's amazing. But it doesn't stop there. He keeps making them. Then, years later, as an adult, he remembers his childhood accident and thinks, wait a second, this could be a business. He patents the idea in 1923 and names it the Epsicle. Yes, like Epperson plus icicle. Cute, but kinda awkward. His kids have a better idea. They start calling them Popsicles. And that's the name that stuck. From a frozen mistake to a summertime icon, one kid's forgotten soda turned into a multi-million-dollar frozen empire. Now they're sold in over 25 countries, with over 2 billion enjoyed every year. All thanks to one cold night, one wooden stick, and one kid who left his science experiment out on the porch. Sometimes, forgetting stuff can be the coolest thing you do. Number 4. Ice cream cones. It's 1904, St. Louis, Missouri. The World's Fair is in full swing. A massive celebration of new inventions, wild foods, and future dreams. And in the middle of the madness, ice cream. Lots of it. Vendors are selling it by the scoop. The crowd's loving it. But one stand is suddenly slammed with a problem. They run out of bowls. Like, completely. People are lined up, hot, and craving something cold. But without a bowl, what do you serve it in? Cue the dessert-saving hero, a waffle vendor nearby. He's been selling Persian-style thin waffles all day, but business is slow. He sees the panic, the chaos, the melting ice cream crisis. And then, genius strikes. He quickly rolls one of his waffles into a cone shape, hands it over, and says, "Here, try this." The ice cream vendor plops in a scoop. People go nuts. Crowds gather, everyone wants the cone. That one moment of desperation, of fairground innovation, gave us the ice cream cone. Crispy, portable, edible, efficient. A win for the taste buds and sustainability alike. What started as a fast fix became a dessert essential. Today, billions of cones are sold every year. Waffle cones, sugar cones, cake cones, you name it. So yeah, no bowls? No problem. All it took was one food vendor, one rolled up waffle, and one hot day at the fair. And just like that, ice cream found its forever home. Number 3. Bubble wraps. You know it. You've popped it. You've stress relieved your way through an entire roll during one bad Tuesday. But bubble wrap? It wasn't invented for packaging. Nope, it was meant to be fancy wallpaper. Yeah, back in 1957, two engineers, Alfred Fielding and Mark Chavans, had an idea. They sealed two shower curtains together with little air bubbles trapped inside. Textured, futuristic, supposed to give your walls a stylish, modern look. Except, it looked weird. People didn't want to cover their homes with plastic that looked like a blister. So, flop. The wallpaper of the future was a bust. But here's where the magic happens. A few years later, while trying to find a way to safely ship computers, someone at IBM had a light bulb moment. Wait a second. What about that bubbly stuff? Suddenly, bubble wrap found its true calling. It was lightweight, durable, and fun as hell to squish. It became the go-to material for protecting electronics, glass, packages, basically anything fragile. And the bonus? It's also the world's cheapest therapy. Today, it's used globally in shipping, art, insulation, and even anxiety relief videos on TikTok. So yeah, bubble wrap didn't decorate living rooms, but it did become a global obsession. Proof that even a failed idea can blow up, if it just has the right pop. Number 2. Cornflakes. In the late 1800s, health was serious business, especially if your name was Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. He ran a sanitarium in Michigan, basically a wellness retreat for wealthy folks. His mission? Clean living, clean thinking, clean food. He and his brother Will were on a quest to create the ultimate bland health food. Yup, bland on purpose. Because John believed spicy, flavorful foods stirred up, let's say, impure thoughts. So the menu was full of boiled veggies, grains, and things that tasted like cardboard. Then, one day, it happened. The brothers were experimenting with wheat. They cooked it, left it out, and then forgot about it. By the time they came back, the dough had gone stale. Most people would have thrown it out, but the Kellogg's thought, let's roll it out and see what happens. Instead of turning into a smooth sheet, the dough broke into flaky, crispy pieces. They toasted them, gave them a try, and something magical happened. It was bland, sure. John liked that, but it had a crunch. It was weirdly satisfying. They had accidentally invented cornflakes. Though they later swapped wheat for corn, the formula stuck. Simple, light, dry, and crunchy. Will Kellogg saw the commercial potential. He wanted to add sugar to make it taste better. John said no. So Will broke off, started his own company, and boom, Kellogg's was born. A breakfast empire, born from a forgotten dough and a brotherly fallout. Today, cornflakes are sold in more than 180 countries. Still kinda bland. Still iconic. Sometimes greatness doesn't come from chasing flavor, but from a happy kitchen accident and a very awkward family argument. Number 1. The cheesecake. Creamy, dreamy, absolutely irresistible. But did you know this decadent dessert was never meant to be dessert at all? Ancient Greece, around 2000 BCE, long before ovens, mixers, or cheesecake flavored everything. People were mixing cheese, wheat, and honey, not to indulge their sweet tooth, but to fuel athletes during the Olympics. Yup, cheesecake was originally sports food, like an ancient protein bar, but way tastier. Fast forward a few centuries, the Romans conquer Greece, steal the recipe, and start tweaking it. Adding eggs, baking it, changing the vibe. But here's where it gets really interesting. In 1872, a New York dairy farmer named William Lawrence tries to recreate a soft French cheese, and totally messes it up. Instead of fancy Neufchâtel, he accidentally invents something richer, creamier, smoother. Cream cheese. Boom. Game changer. Bakers start blending this new cheese with sugar, eggs, and graham cracker crusts. And suddenly, cheesecake evolves from rustic snack to full-blown dessert royalty. From Olympic fuel to 5-star indulgence, all thanks to a recipe stolen by empires and a farmer who flubbed French cheese. So the next time you dig your fork into a slice of New York cheesecake, just remember, It's been 4,000 years in the making. And that's a wrap. Upload done. Your brain just got 1% weirder, in the best way. More facts coming soon. Subscribe so you don't miss them.